Hey, welcome to episode 9 of Abundance. In the last episode, I talked about splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen gases. And I've, of course, always missed something, or there's always more to discover. But there was this on the Wikipedia water splitting article, they had an image of this patent for getting electricity from the atmospheric potential. And I found the patent. It's from 1860, patent number 28793. I'll definitely give a link to this one because it's fascinating. So what this is showing a what they're calling an aerostat, so a hydrogen filled cylindrical balloon that is covered in wire mesh and a line coming down into the ground. So we have the atmosphere is positively charged, the ground negatively charged, and through this difference, we're generating electricity. So this is absolute clean electricity, and what they're using the electricity for, it's going straight into some sort of any type of body of water, and the electricity is being directly applied to convert the water, uh, decompose the water through electrolysis into hydrogen and oxygen gases. We have this long line, or it's a rubber tube that actually can, fill the balloon and keep it at proper amount of hydrogen to keep it aloft. And I'm not sure on the wire mesh here, but it had to be probably fine wires that weren't too heavy to so that the lifting gas would have a good effect. Let me just cover this a little bit more because it's fascinating. What we've lost. I've never seen any photos or physical instances of these type of devices here. Just all we have is this remnant of copper plates or whatever from 1860 that were patented, so locked up, right? Um, this was from this guy, a Frenchman, Empire of France. Mode of obtaining atmospheric electricity and terrestrial electricity and its industrial applications. So the hydrogen gas was the key. It was along with the heliostat type heating, using heliostats for all kinds of other applications. But hydrogen has so many applications, and that's why it's been removed, patented off. Oh, it's too dangerous. Um, it's going to create this device will create a electric pile of great power. How much power? The atmospheric electricity. Is this the one I highlighted? Yeah. So atmospheric electricity is always present. So we don't need any. The clouds don't matter. Daylight, nighttime doesn't matter. We can always produce electricity this way. So obviously, that's why we can't have nice things, right? What? How much? Different numbers here. 100 volts per meter. Um, or up to 120 volts per meter. So if it was only, 10 feet high, 3 meters, we'd have 320 volts. If it was like 100 meters, which is like 328 feet, we'd have 12,000 volts. Okay, so just from the air, nothing else, just creating it, just taking electricity from the atmosphere that is ever present. Amazing. Um, so and also the aerostat is not required. They're showing it here when you're on a flat plane, but if you have a mountainous region where, like, oh, these mountains here, they're like know 1,000 feet, or let's say 3,000 feet, 1,000 meters high, a difference, you can just run the wires up the side of the mountain. You don't even need the aerostat type of situation. And then the hydrogen gas, where did that go, and what was that used for? I believe that relates back to what I talked about, using hydrogen plasma for mining, for extracting metals from oxides and ores, metal refining, waste processing. There's so much with hydrogen, and that it really is a way to go for so much of our industrial energy needs. Um, there's a long Indian rubber tube. I'm not sure what that India rubber means, but the hydrogen gas produced by the action of the pile itself decomposes the water to produce the hydrogen gas. And then let's see, where does it say? The negative wires are sunk into the ground at very great depth, or into wells, rivers, or into the sea. So, yeah, ocean water being salty, it's going to have greater conductivity than just straight river water or groundwater. Um, the negative iron or other metal conductors coated with insulating substance. And then up here, the the iron rods are sharpened to a point and silvered or coppered, meaning they had a silver plating or a copper plating at their ends. And this the one of the plates here was coated with a metal not subject to oxidation. And that gets into some more rabbit holes, because the best metal that will not oxidize in many conditions is gold. And you're like, oh no, you would never use gold. It's like, well, you want the proper engineering use. It's for an engineer. Do you care? No, we for what we're building, what's the best substance, right? um the negative, okay, positive wire electric current. Powerful electric current will be obtained, one pole of which is in the atmosphere and the other the earth. Yeah, there was definitely the wires probably were some copper. I'm guessing copper, just for better conductivity. So just what we've lost. This has been I've totally hidden, stolen tech, but this amazing to me. Um, so okay, now let's talk about building materials a little bit more. And that's just one of the modern aerostats. So yeah, last time I was talking about fly ash, and uh, episode 6, I talked about the carbon rods, carbon arc lamps, and we had carbon arc welding. The two carbon rods put close together, and then a current applied. The arc between the two rods burns up the compressed carbon, which was probably obtained from coal, or could have been. And then immense light is produced, and also immense heat that you can arc weld with. But to the um, with building materials, fly ash is very critical in creating large pours of concrete, so that there's not a huge exothermic amount of reaction, because when with quicklime, which I'll talk about, it produces a lot of heat. And so this is like what we're doing today with uh, coal has been used for producing electricity. Coal fired electric generating plants. We had, the great smog, all this smog and stuff in London and other parts of the world, from burning coal to produce heat, to heat your homes, to heat this and that, which I believe was completely uh, from the controllers, as the take, taking what was already there in the old world, in so many of the old cities and communities. where you have all these old stone buildings, right? So the story is with a lot of these old buildings is that they were the limestone was like quarried and then cut and shaped and then brought in and then used to make a structure. Um, yeah, let me show you some of these old photos. So if you look at like so many of these old world buildings, like we had the World's Fairs where all these buildings were destroyed or burned down, and so many of them are just massive constructions. Uh, this one is I didn't look up which cathedral this is, but this cathedral here is just unbelievable in the amount of stone, limestone, the detail level, the beauty of this, um, and the quote here or the text: "Modern man is in a terrible predicament. He is helplessly enamored with the beauty of what the old world built, yet despises the beliefs that inspired them to build it." And that's 100% true. I definitely can understand that. Uh, yeah, I'll talk about this some more with the Roman concrete. Okay, but talking about with these products, right? Like so, you, burning of coal, we have all these emissions that can be captured, you know, but as well. But the fly ash was the main component, and I believe that's why there was probably massive stores and piles of coal in city centers because that was then burned and used to for the building materials, not for heating. We had we have had hydrogen gas for heating, but also we had all the heliostat technology to heat water and many other things. And also, if now we say when we're going to burn coal for production or for like burning coal for like a blast furnace that is used to refine metals, we have all these supposedly today we're just throwing this out. Oh, this is all waste. Why? It's uh, some excuse, I'm sure. Oh, it's too expensive to get this stuff out of the waste from the burnt coal. So let's just throw this poison around: mercury, cadmium, lead, arsenic, chromium, thallium, selenium. So I don't believe that anything was wasted in the old world, that they had methods, probably with the hydrogen plasma again, to purify this stuff and get all of these all these elements out of the waste from the burning of coal. Um, and oh, this is on fly ash, the different materials today used. Fly ash, fly ash bricks. I think those are for construction. Industrial disaster of a fly ash containment failure. Let's see. On the coal combustion, yeah, this isn't really high detail, but it shows you the coal-fired power plant, pulver flame, burning of the coal. Then we need electrostatic precipitators to grab out the fly ash. And fly ash is basically extremely fine-grained sand. It's here different components of from burning of different coals. Silicon dioxide is sand, and the fly ash is like ultra fine. So for binding in uh, concrete and electrostatics, this really interesting branch of physics. And then we had all kinds of electrostatic generators around too, but this is what's needed to pull out the uh, fly ash specifically from burning coal. Let me talk now about calcium oxide or quicklime, and this is taking normal plain old limestone, cooking it, and then you get this quicklime substance, which has so many amazing properties for in creating strong cements and mortars and binding mixes and stuff. And today it's like you can't really use this stuff, or you can't buy it as far as I know, because it's like, oh, it's too uh, caustic, too reactive. There is so quicklime. The phrasing and wording of all this stuff is kind of confusing. Quicklime is hydraulic, not hydrated. So the hydraulic means it will set or will start reacting and binding in the presence of water. When we add water to this, it's called slaked lime, which is non hydraulic but hydrated. And that's what you can buy in the store. You can buy slaked lime and mix it up with water, get lime putty, and then the sand or whatever else you mix in to create a mortar. Quicklime, since it already has, or I'm sorry, the slaked lime, since it already has water in it, it will start binding with carbon dioxide in the air. So that's why with slaked lime, you can't have a mortar the mortar has to be laid down thin, no more than an inch or two, because it needs to have exposure to the air, and the air to set with the carbon dioxide in the air, or however it pulls out. And to cook the calcium oxide, or cook quicklime, to cook limestone into quicklime, you do require a lot of heat, over like from 800 to 900 degrees Celsius. And we have also, besides just straight limestone that can be made into quicklime, seashells of like oysters, and I believe clams and mussel shells as well, can be cooked. So just from the natural, you can be just on collecting this oyster shells and whatnot from the ocean, and you'll be able to create quicklime from those shells. Now the heat, right? Oh, this is in the descriptions we have of how this is done. Oh, we need a lime kiln, and then I'm sure this is we need to fire it with natural gas, or wood, all kinds of wood, or coal to get the heat up. But we don't, because we have this technology of just using heliostats to create a solar furnace. This was talked about this quite a bit in the previous episodes, but this is a lot of mirrors here on this experimental solar furnace in France. But they're able to get a furnace up to 2,500 degrees Celsius for a few seconds. So you know how many hours of a sunny day could you get a solar furnace up to 1,000 degrees Celsius? I mean, oh, and once you have the infrastructure in of mirrors or whatever else, it's like there's no added energy required. You just need the sunlight. And besides that, we have the generation of hydrogen gas, from this technology that was stolen from us. So this atmospheric energy harvesting device that was stolen from us. And a lot of with atmospheric energy, let me just say, like, if you look on a lot of there's all kinds of videos out there about old world buildings, and if you're in a town or city, or you're near a town or city that has old stone buildings that were supposedly built like in the 1800s or earlier, they're really worth checking out and looking at, because it's just so amazing. Like, oh, why can't we build like that today? Exactly, because there's regulations and all this other stuff I'll talk about. It took me a while to make this video, because I kept getting so really angry at the pain of not being able to having power over nothing. There's a quote here I have up: "The worst pain a man can suffer is to have insight into much and power over nothing." That was by Herodotus, supposedly. And when I'm talking about power, I am not talking about power over people. Okay, I don't have any power. You hardly have any power over yourself. But I'm talking about the ability to do work, power in the sense of physics, mechanical energy, the power to build, the power to to transform, to the ability to do something, not the ability to coerce or influence or control people. That type of power, that's all an illusion, because it all requires like rhetoric and appeal to emotion. The stuff where all these laws and regulations and things, it's like you just need to, why none of it works is because just apply it to yourself first. Okay, like you want to stop a bad habit that you're, oh, I'm gonna have a swear jar, so I stop swearing so much. I pass a law, so it doesn't work. You're right. Your swear jar just gets filled up. Do you ever stop? Or uh, I want to start a good habit, like, oh, I'm going to eat more vegetables, for example. Oh, pass yourself a law to yourself first and see how well you do. Okay, and so it doesn't make zero sense that people think they have authority over other people in that way, to power over other people. It's all an illusion. Okay, get on a rant here. Okay, so let me show you. Let's see, a quicklime. Didn't really building. Yeah, this was an article on building with shells. They got the ocean here, tons of oyster shells and stuff. Hooking it down. That's pretty. Prototyping waste shell materials. You can't build with that. It's not allowed. No, no, it's not allowed. Yeah, like, why can't we have nice things? Why can't we have structures like this? Because we our beliefs are not congruent to build something like this. Like this type of this type of structure, the amount of engineering plans and specialized certified licensed people that in today's world that would have to approve this, like the level of detail that, like, on the facades and castings of different different sections and all the detail of this stuff. Now I believe that none of this limestone was quarried somewhere, that it was actually just mixed on site in the city, and the coal that was in the city was specifically used for the carbon rods for the carbon arc lamps, arc welding, and the coal was burned to produce fly ash because that's power to build. And um let's see here. Okay, all these different, so just using shells and stuff as well. Let's look at some Roman concrete work here that they discovered, like rediscovered, but they're talking here about the
The Pantheon has
Pantheon.
been standing for 1,900 years. Its dome is 43.3 metres across. That is 142 feet of unreinforced concrete.
100. Okay, like, and we can't build like this today, can we? No, like everywhere you look, oh, what's the nation's report card on our infrastructure, all the bridges and uh, buildings and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, it's like a D, because, oh, it's all crumbling. Why? It's by design, by absolutely by design.
Spanning a space wider than any dome built before or since, without steel reinforcement. No rebar, no tension cables, no expansion joints, just concrete. It weighs 4,535 metric tons,
Wow.
and it has not been repaired since antiquity.
To Oh wow, it's such amazing tech. Yeah, but today we're like, oh no, our tech is so much better. No, that's why our all this infrastructure and civilization is garbage, because it's by design. Let me just they're showing here the mixing of the quicklime. So, or this is quicklime mixed in with sand and water. Yeah.
That crumbles in 50 years, just like everything else, that kept this secret buried for 20 centuries. If you mix those three ingredients, the way every modern engineering textbook has taught since the 1800s, you end up with ordinary concrete that crumbles in 50 years,
Oh,
just like everything else.
using slate
One
time.
detail in the mixing process changes the entire chemistry, and until 2023, no living scientist understood what that detail was.
Really, just shows you how you should get a refund on your science degree then, because what have you been learning? Let's see. Here we.
The Romans, according to this theory, simply had not stirred the batch thoroughly enough. This explanation never sat right with Massick. As he put it, if the Romans invested that much effort into creating the most outstanding construction material in history, following recipes they had optimized over centuries, why would they be careless about mixing? There had to be more to the story. So he dug deeper. Massick and his team at MIT, working with researchers from Harvard and laboratories.
So these poor guys, you guys have all discovered this method. They're using. The other material was maybe the fly ash, but the Romans, they mixed up this cement or concrete, and they left in chunks of quicklime, so that when cracks would form, the little nodules or balls of quicklime would be opened up in the crack, and then when water came into the crack, they would react and self-heal.
Recrystallizes as calcium carbonate, a strong mineral that bonds to both sides of the fracture. The crack seals shut. The concrete has just repaired itself. But it goes further than that. The recrystallized calcium carbonate can also react with surrounding pozzolanic material to form additional cementitious compounds.
Oh yeah, the pozzolan, that was the fly ash. It's volcanic ash that is been deposited in various parts of the world. But it's the same, I believe, yeah, probably some different chemical composition, but primarily super ultra fine sand.
The repair is not a temporary patch. It is chemically identical to the original binding matrix. In some cases, the repaired zone becomes stronger than the surrounding material because the reaction fills micropores that existed since the original pore. Massick and his team proved this in the laboratory.
Oh, so now we have scientific proof. So now it must be true. Never mind the thousands of years. No, we have
They
the
manufactured
scientists.
concrete using the hot mixing method, following the Roman process as closely as possible. They deliberately cracked it. They ran water through the cracks using a flow circuit with precise measurements. Within 2 weeks, the cracks had completely sealed. Water flow dropped to zero. An identical batch of concrete made without quicklime, made the standard modern way with slaked lime, never healed.
Yeah, that's by design. So it's like the broken window fallacy. Oh, well, that means that we can come back in, however many years later. Oh, your bridge is crumbling. Oh man, yeah. Well, don't worry. We can fix that right up. You, as the municipality or whatever, you just pay us however many hundreds and hundreds of millions to fix what that could have stood for hundreds and thousands of years, like the Pantheon and the Roman roads and stuff like that.
The water kept flowing through indefinitely. After 30 days, no change.
And yeah, this makes the most sense in any type of marine environment, anything being in water, exposed to water, sea water, freezing area where it freezes and cracks and all of that. As soon as water gets back in, it'll start self-healing, self-sealing.
Every lime clast in Roman concrete is a dormant reservoir of reactive calcium. When activated by water entering a crack, it restarts the cementing process locally.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. And do they here they show the hot mixing method that they used, quicklime, the volcanic ash, and this is why you can't create massive blocks with this type of concrete. Good sized blocks, of course, but you can't create super huge because of the heat that's released, right?
Dormant repair kits waiting to be activated. This is the part that matters. When a crack forms in...
Okay, so kind of get the idea. Oh, why? Let's use that stuff. In the comments, some of the comments down here are just hilarious. The Romans had the best concrete. We need to get this commercialized again for options that builders can. No, it's going to last too long. No, we need planned obsolescence, like the Portland cement or whatever today, is great. Like it'll crumble. That means they'll have to come back and fix it. You know, this guy cost me $18,000 to get my driveway done, and it started cracking a few. Can he get his money back? No, that's just no. It just
Roman
happens. The
concrete.
cracks are fine. We'll come back and patch it for you. Just pay us come back.
Rainwater enters the
Okay, enough of that. So hot mix mortars. This site cornishlime.co.uk. So they actually sell uh they sell Quicklime, but it's like only for like, oh, you need to repair some historic building. You can't build with this now, right? But kind of goes through the process here where just like burning the limestone and getting calcium oxide, the quicklime, and then you can recreate limestone that way. So it's like the thing that like this limestone for these buildings was like quarried. It doesn't make any sense. It's what all the coal that was in the cities for, in my opinion. This graphic here shows you a Roman road on the left that was built 2,000 years ago, like Pantheon time frame. And then here's a road 6 years old built by the Indiana Department of Transportation. And it's already falling apart. That's perfect, like I'm a contractor to the Indiana Department of Transportation and we do roads. Like this is great. Job security, creating more jobs this way. It's called the broken window fallacy. Guys can look that up, but it's exactly what we're in. So let me continue here. Okay, historic mortars, benefits, super sticky. Yep, but the problem is it's very caustic. Oh, people can't work with it. It's dangerous. We need like special material or whatever to special protective gear and all that. Okay, that's just excuses, right? The this talking about the Zolins, the different volcanic ashes world, I guess, and it also has aluminosilicates, which something else to also add to the binding process. Let's see, we have the yeah. So besides making quicklime from seashells and things like that, bones, human bones, animal bones, if they're cooked to that high temperature, 800 degrees Celsius or whatever, if they're cooked to that high temperature, they will also you will also obtain quicklime. It's a little hard to read here, but same thing with right, 800, same thing like 800 degrees Celsius, and you'll get some amount of quicklime from bones. So that was something I don't have it up, but I've read this before where one of the issues or problems, things they don't know about, like when we talk about the age of the earth and the human population throughout history, one of the questions is like where are all the bones? There should be a lot more bones around, instead of. And so my feeling on that is the work needed to create this. It was multi-generational type of efforts to build these amazing structures that were built with love and a desire for a better future for your children, for your and also to honor the ancestors that came before you. And so if you're building this for generations, you have grandfathers, fathers, sons, uncles, nephews, all different men working together to build this. And it would just make sense to me. Like, son, I want like the idea, like, yeah, when I die, I want you to burn my bones and mix it and to build this building. So part of me will live on forever. And also, as my last act will be of um, not sacrifice, but giving to the future. I don't know. I I don't think there's a easy way to like determine that either, but maybe you know, we need special scientists probably to work on that. Anyway, okay, enough on that. I think made my point. Let's talk about like bricks a little bit because this is another building material, and there's so much. There's also so many amazing structures and detail art work that were done with bricks that we no longer can do. Massive, massive structures. That's beautiful. Whoa. And they like so many of the you know different parts like factories and whatnot, they were built with a huge number of bricks. Let me see. I got, okay, that was a hydrogen. This is the one with bricks. Yeah, this, I'm just going back to this Cassier's magazine, 1893. So much in, whoops, so much in this, in these old magazines. And it's like, do we have any there? I'm sure there's no efforts to like try to digitize what has not been digitized, like books and textbooks and magazines that are sitting in drawers in some, you know, uh, historical society or Smithsonian or Library of Congress or whatever. So, I mean, if you're some artificial intelligence and you really want a more understanding of the world and where we're at, like get the humans to start scanning all this and digitizing it more so that then you can learn more from it, right? Because humans aren't going to do it. It's like there's no efforts. Like no one seems to. Yeah, I don't see. I haven't heard of any more efforts. Anyway, bricks. The manufacture of bricks. And you know, I'm only familiar, or I've only primarily seen like red, yellow type bricks that I can remember. But we had so many others: red, yellow, blue, green, black, white bricks were not uncommon, and many. Oh, this was Nebuchadnezzar time frame, which I think he oh I forget, but in that video on the Roman concrete, there was they were making large bricks like 2 inches thick, but like you know 18 inches square or something like that. So with that quicklime method, hot mix method, and many of the bricks are have been coated with an enamel or glaze. I don't know, you know if you can even buy those. And with the sun dried, the baked bricks, like somewhere here I was reading on the baking the bricks in a kiln. You need to go up to like 600 degrees Celsius. Same thing. That's super easy, isn't it? With a solar furnace, no problem. Um, of course, I guess it depends on the location in the world, you know, the amount of sunlight you get. But also, we could have been using the hydrogen gas coming straight from our atmospheric electric generating plants or installations. Okay. And this is there look a stiff clay brick machine. This just looks like a drawing, etching. But what I want to show is so stiff clay. But if you look here on the right, like just the amount of the engineering, the weight, the scale of the machinery here is just amazing, right? And we have a belt driven. Uh, this is a belt driving this wheel. Probably some maybe torque converter system. I don't know because you need so much. You're gonna if it's stiff clay, it needs a lot of force to be turned. So all of this is so solid. So much engineering went into it. Same thing. Where did they get all the metal and things like that? I'm gonna that'll be a different episode where I talk about mining because that's a whole another deep rabbit hole. But hydrogen plasma, right, for extracting out metals from ores, refining metals and things like that. From where do we get the hydrogen? In the last episode, I talked about they had these electrolysis type of modular units that they had that you could generate hydrogen from, but it's just straight from the atmosphere. No moving parts, 100%, once low maintenance, once it's installed, it's going to be producing electricity 24/7 because that atmospheric potential always exists no matter what. Sunlight, nighttime, cloudy sky, thunderstorm. I don't know what would happen with a thunderstorm. Like, would you get a massive? I don't know how that would work, but it would. Everything was wired correctly, right? Anyway, I digress again. Let's see. Okay, so and then that was stiff clay brick. They had all kinds of other devices here, and this a clay bank. It's interesting, a bank on a river on the Hudson River in New York. So this was some large area that they were getting, a higher quality clay, I guess, that was good for brick making. This is a soft mud machine. With pug mill attached. So this would you would mix up your clay brick mix, and then out here it would cut the bricks to the size and extrude them out. And further down in the article, it describes this unit. It's like 8 feet tall, extremely solidly built, of course, high quality. And I highlighted this because that brick making center near the Hudson River was one of the greatest common brick making centers. I think this goes back to like a collective type of organization that has been lost, stolen from us. This is just interesting. This type of clay that they had in France and Germany made extremely light bricks that would actually float in water. That's how light they were, but they still had enough strength that they could build high vaulted ceilings. Amazing. Oh, and here was another a dry clay brick machine. So I think, is this a press? Yeah, I mean, look at the weight and the size of this. This was taking dry bricks and then pressing them to compress them. And then I don't know, if I'm guessing you would bake them then. And so look at the scale of this thing. Like, we have our belt driven, two different belts. I don't know how that would work. But this would have been driven by a steam engine belt. And then the power and force that this thing was capable of. Amazing. I don't think I found a description of this, like weight wise. This was just the other ones. Yeah, I think that was it. That was a hand pressed to compress a single dry brick. It also has a pretty decent cylinder here. Looks pretty solid. Looks a lot better than stuff you could buy today from like China or something. Breaking labor right there. Doesn't look very efficient, but anyway. That was sun baking the bricks, and it's like, why not have a direct heat tunnel dryer like they have? Oh, that's a dryer, not a. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess if the clay and whatnot, that the mix was too wet or rich clay or whatever they call it, they had to dry them out a little bit more, because the shrinkage. Okay, that's all I wanted to talk about with this one. I think this magazine specifically. Okay, this was, yeah, with the blast furnaces. Just talk about some of the products used for like hydraulic binding and quicklime and whatever, volcanic ash, fly ash. Okay, so now, oh yeah, before I continue here, but the next section here, I'm going to talk about like why this is for all of this is for entertainment purposes only, and we cannot build like this anymore at all. And the reason we can is because we have all these building codes and planning offices and planning building departments, permitting offices, whatnot. Okay, let me show you. Let's see. Whoops, wrong one. So this magazine, another old magazine, the Von Nostran's Eclectic Engineering magazine from 1879. Just a couple of things I wanted to show here. This was where they're talking about one of the mixes used for, I think this is the Avonmouth dock somewhere in England they're talking about. But the marine, the portion of it that's in the water, they use a lime concrete for the foundations. The mix was 1 part lime, 2 part sand, 2 part ashes, 2 broken stone. So similar to what the guy was describing on the Roman concrete, the 2 part ashes was most likely fly ash or something like that pozzolana, a volcanic ash, something of that nature. Because this sounds exactly like the Roman concrete mix with large bits of broken stone mix in there as well. And the other thing in this magazine I wanted to show, because it really really is why we can't have nice things and why we're in this garbage that we're in today. This is discussing about so many articles in here, but this is just talking about sewers. But in this section, it is painfully apparent that the early sewers were, as a rule, very imperfectly constructed, and even now many sewage works are improperly carried out, simply because local boards are prone to practice a false economy in their public works department and retain the monies which ought to be paid as fees to competent men for supervising their work. So corruption. This was 1879, like 150 years ago, and nothing's changed. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And false economy. What's a false economy? A false economy or hallucinated economy. Oh, we're in a psychosis. We're hallucinating. Not in the real world. Is an action that does save money at the beginning, but which over a longer period of time results in more money being spent or wasted than being saved. And that's where we're at. Their example is government decided to purchase the cheapest automobiles they could find. However, the cheap automobiles need so much more repair work, and all of that repair work, like on the roads, then negates any of the initial savings they had when they laid down, when they bought the original goods or services. So we're in this false economy for hundreds of years now. It's coming to an end because the Vogons, the parasite class, ain't gonna be able to squeeze forever. It's done. It's over. And there's no more trust left. Like, anyway, I don't anyway, but yeah, I'm sure it'll take a while, the inertia. And the building codes, there's all this stuff with building codes. This is all for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to show a few clips here of some movies, but let me first show you some quotes here. So on the bottom right here, I cut out that quote from the old engineering magazine about the local boards. Here on the top left, it shows a guy's house, the back of his house, and instead of a deck outside his sliding door, he has a pontoon boat sitting there, because when you need a permit to build a deck but not to store a boat. And this is like a joke meme, but it's so true, because you're like, oh, how hard is it to build a deck? Oh, it's not hard at all. But it goes back to like motivation, can you do it? Will it work? Yes. Is it worth it? No. Why? Because of this permitting process, which is insane. And so okay, I'll talk more about this, but it's not so simple. It's not cut and dry at all. It's like crazy what is going on nowadays in these local boards, local planning commissions, building departments, all of this government waste. Here in the middle is a quote by John Selden. I'm not sure who this guy is, but ignorance of the law excuses no man, not that all men know the law, but because his an excuse every man will plead, and no one can tell how to refute him. That's why they just say, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Not, it is an excuse, but they can't face that's a threat to their authority, and that's not allowed. It's like my authority, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. And with the every piece of the government, it's always like, oh well, we need more resources, and it doesn't matter how many resources you have. If you do not know how to use them, it will never be enough, and that's by design. These people that are in these offices. So let me show you some clips from. This is from Hitchhiker's Guide. I have like no viewers, so I think I can get away with this a little bit, but we'll see.
Oh, well, I'm game.
Come off it, mister. You can't lie in front of the bulldozers forever.
Oh, well, I'm game. We'll see you rusts first.
To be built, and it is going to be.
Why has it got to be built?
A bypass. You've got to build bypasses. You should have made your protest months ago. Been on display at the place now for a year.
On display, I'm down to a cellar.
Yeah, eminent domain, like, oh, I own. No, you don't own it. The parasite class, they're basically Vogons. They have the jurisdiction and authority. Oh yeah, and he had to go down and open up the cellar door, to go into the planning office and see what was posted, what they were planning to do with his land, not even consulting him, not even talking to him. Oh no. They live in like these these ivory towers, and my gosh, pride goes before a fall. Just remember that. And then, so he's all like, there's no arguing with the eminent domain, right? And then we got the Vogons who show up, right?
People of Earth, this is prosthetic Vogon.
The Vogons show up, and these are the administrators of the galaxy, and these are exactly like the administrators of your local boards that practice a false economy. So he's like, oh yeah, we're your planet. This is like an eminent domain action by the the administrators of the galaxy. We need to create a hyperspace bypass through your solar system. You should have gone to the office in Alpha Centauri. I mean, it was obviously okay. So this other movie that really kind of brings this home, because this, it's sci-fi, but there's so much in this. There's so many reveals and encodings in all these blockbuster movies and TV series, whatever, Netflix series. So this is the movie, yeah. This other movie, I'm going to show a few clips of this one movie called Still Mine from 2012, and it is the movie. Technically, the movie is about an old man who owns like 2,000 acres somewhere in Canada. His family's been there, generations and generations, and he's building a house because his wife is getting dementia, and he needs a smaller space to take care of her and watch her, and and so he's got all this land, 2,000 acres. He's like, I'm just going to build a house, and he knows how to do all this. He's one of these totally self-sufficient people from the the old world, I guess, but related to all these regulations.
Mr. Morrison, didn't expect to see you again this year.
Oh, why is that?
Didn't you get my letter?
Not that I recall, no.
We sent it back in February on account of new regulations. And we only buy from growers who ship their produce in refrigerated trucks.
These were on the plants not 2 hours ago. There's no heat of the day in them at all.
Well, it's a head office decision.
Any wiggle room on this?
Afraid not.
Well, that just means I'm shit out of luck. I can't afford a refrigerated truck for less than an acre.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I wish there was something I could do about it.
Yeah, me too. Seems like there's some kind of regulation for everything nowadays.
Yeah, so, you live in some part of the country that there's tons of people growing food, tons of different farming operations. Yeah, you get any of their products or anything that people are growing in the grocery store? No, because of all these regulations, and it's like, oh well, it's just a scam to centralize control, power, and money. Because it's like oh well, he can just go to the farmer's market. Yeah, this old man's gonna go every week just to sit there for however many hours to peddle some strawberries. It's not worth it when a whole centralized grocery stores were set up, and the just arbitrage. The grocery store owner can buy his strawberries at a low price and sell it for a high price. Hey, these are Mr. Morrison's organic strawberries. Yeah. Oh, these are great. Right. Oh no, no, I can't. No, regulations prevent all that. Why can't we have nice things? Just look at the local boards and all the dumb people who think they own everything. So this is his buddy that gets him into
You got a permit.
into the
Permit?
mire, into the
Why would I need a
thick
permit?
of it.
This is my land.
Ever since they did the Raw Commission 2 years ago, you got to have an official stamp if you want to take a crap. Trust me, you definitely need a permit.
So yeah, and this starts just an amount of rigmarole and stress that this guy does in his old age he doesn't need, but the Vogons, they don't care.
It just seems funny to me that I should have to pay $400 to build a house on a piece of property I already own and pay taxes on.
Yeah, how much he's got hundreds of acres. How many taxes is he paying to the county and paying for all this equipment, this building, nice air conditioning, lighting, and everything? The citizens of your land are paying for all that, and then they don't care. It's just just another user base that they can squeeze for whatever. Whatever. This took me a long time to make this video because I kept getting so angry about all this stuff. Let's continue. And he's talking about $400, and then it's much more than that. Your property taxes just keep going up. Where does the money go? It goes to the local board so that they can practice a false economy in their public works, going on hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Nothing but
We
a
get that quite a
grift.
bit. It's an administrative fee. As you're building the house, we come out and check on you and make sure it complies to code.
The codes, yeah. The years ago, was it some layoff or something? They were talking, oh, learn to code. Yeah, I think that was code for all these building codes, because it's off. It's unbelievable, like what's going on with this
Suppose
garbage.
someone needs a job,
Yeah, that's a broken window fallacy.
but it's completely unnecessary. In case you haven't noticed, there are a lot of houses in St. Martin's that are well over 200 years old. They're still standing. Where was your code then?
Yes, sir. I think you're missing the point.
You're missing the point that now the Vogons are here, and he has authority and eminent domain over, what you think is your land is not your land. It's in their minds, it's their public resource. They own,
I sure am.
we're keeping you safe,
That's
building
the way it's gonna
safety.
go. I guess I'll just
We're
have
here.
to handle.
Yeah. Oh, the 10 most dangerous words in the English language. Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. Learn that. You guys think that's a joke? It ain't a joke anymore.
Over the $400.
Great.
There you go.
Thanks. And I'll just need to see your plan.
Plans for what?
For the house.
I don't have any plans.
Well, how are you going to build a house without any plans?
The way I've been doing it all my life. I know what I want.
Well, how do you know?
Yeah, someone who is this experienced, okay? I mean, I get it I don't know how to build, but anything after so many years, like 10 years doing something full time, you're a master at it, okay? Or you could become a master at it, depending, I guess, depending what we're talking about. But yeah, this guy is a master builder, even if he doesn't have the certifications or whatever, because he's been doing it his whole life. He was taught by his father, who did it his whole life. So,
Because it's in my head, that's how.
Well, that doesn't solve our problem. We need stamped blueprints.
it's code. It's
I'm not
required.
an architect.
And you need to be a licensed architect to create the plans. And then you have to use some garbage proprietary software that requires huge license costs. But it helps you out because it hooks into the code, the database and list of all the different codes that you need to be aware of and cite and everything.
Architect. I don't know how to draw out plans. This is just going to cost me a whole lot more money.
Well, sir, we have to have them.
We have to have there's Vogon, parasite class.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
We'd appreciate that.
We thank you. We're here to help. We're here to help you. Just remember that. Always be respectful and nice, polite. So here's a guy coming back like he already, is he wearing a
I
hard
suppose
hat?
it's too much to hope you're here on a social visit.
I don't tend to do much socializing in St. Martin's.
Now, why doesn't that surprise me?
I suspect you saw that stop work order I left here yesterday.
The legally binding
yeah.
document.
I thought that was your handiwork.
Did you understand it?
Yeah, seemed pretty straightforward to me.
Well, then why are you still building without a set of approved plans?
That's the thing. See, the plans aren't quite ready yet, and, the weather's just about perfect. Jeffrey, that's my grandson, he's been kind of buried over at the refinery. One of the distilleries went down. Otherwise, he'd have had them done by now.
But you weren't supposed to start in the first place. I thought that was very clear.
Well, you said you needed plans. You didn't say anything about not starting to build before you had them.
Well, if that were the case, what would be the point of them?
Now you're talking. Those are my sentiments exactly.
Mr. Morrison, no matter what you may think, no matter what you may believe, a building permit is not optional.
Oh no, it's the law. You have the whole force of the false economy, local boards, judicial system, and all of that behind it. It's the law. How dare you?
And just so you and I are perfectly clear, that stop work order, that's a legally binding document. Ignore it at your peril.
At your peril, yeah. Poor old man that all the crap he has to go through. So now he's this is where they're going to talk about the lumber that he's using. So it's not.
Just stay out of it.
I mean,
Mr. Daigle, I thought you and I were square.
We were, until I did the framing inspection.
oh, so he got his plans in there. I guess those were
It
approved.
says here that the wood I'm using to frame my house is not stamped.
As noted in my report, there are a number of building code violations. Most of them can be fixed, but I'm not sure how you're going to remedy the fact that none of your wood was stamped by a certified inspector.
Oh yeah. The joists and trusses were not engineer approved, so you need, this person with all this training and certificate, or the certified inspector, just for. He explains the wood here.
And your joists and trusses were not engineer approved.
I realize you're probably a very busy man, Mr. Daigle, but would you mind humoring me for a moment? In order to qualify for your job, did you have to have any kind of expertise in lumber? Or at least the working knowledge of the subject?
Yes, of course.
Well,
it's
then in that
his
case,
certifications.
forgive me for stating the obvious to a man of your training, but
Oh no,
I'd
he
hate to
doesn't
think
like
there
that
was any kind of
sarcasm.
misunderstanding. All of the wood in this house is old-growth spruce that's been air-dried for at least 2 years. I'd also like to point out that there's not a single stud or sill plate that's warped or twisted.
So yeah, I mean, you want to be able to build. You have the capability to obtain and mill your own lumber and air dry it. Oh, it doesn't matter. You're still going to need to get some certified inspector, however much that costs, to stamp your wood. If heck you find that guy, there's so much of this stuff. Like, it's unbelievable.
Go ahead, see for yourself.
Okay.
I believe you. I looked at them myself.
Okay. So then we have no argument there then.
They
Now,
need to be
as for the
stamped.
floor joists and the roof trusses, I built them the way my father taught me to build them. Do you have any?
No, that it needs to be engineer approved. Doesn't matter if you were taught by the best carpenter on the planet and, have 50 years building things that, will stand for hundreds of years. Doesn't matter.
Any idea what he did for a living? Martin's. He knew a thing or two about joinery.
And in fact, Mr. Morrison's done exactly that.
So now he's in front of the building commission, and he's got to get a lawyer. He had to do all.
Is suggesting he's tried to.
He's had to do all kinds of work to address all their concerns. We got our Vogons here, our administrative parasite class. He had to hire a accredited wood inspector. He had to get other engineering people involved to review everything.
Waste and truss specs, and Mr. Morrison's already added the reinforcements to comply with the Commission's recommendations. So these are the photos of those improvements. Additionally, Mr. Raymond Debley, you'll recognize that name, Mr. Daigle, one of the most successful and respected builders in New Brunswick, inspected the house on 10 July, and those are his findings. As you'll read, it's quite a glowing report of Mr. Morrison's construction.
Is that all, Mr. Fulton?
Except, sorry, it's worth remembering that the National Building Code is not a set of rules, it's a set of standards. And it's our belief that Mr. Morrison's not only met those standards, but in most cases, he's exceeded them.
They don't care. They don't care. Vogons, the standards are the rules.
It is the opinion of the building department that Mr. Morrison has still not satisfied the concerns raised by the inspection of his house. Therefore, until such time that a workable solution to all 26 violations has been accepted, the stop work order is still in effect. Make no mistake, Mr. Morrison. Violating a stop work order is a serious offense and will force us to take further legal action.
Oh, it's your fault. You're forcing us, right? Like, never mind that you work for him. You work for the citizens that pay your freaking salaries and your polyester plastic Vogon suits that you wear. Jesus.
Not about that. I'm a reporter, and I heard you...
Oh, yeah. His buddy Chester, who got him into this mess by telling him he needed a permit. Now, he could have built this whole place himself on his property, but as soon as something like some government official had to come out, like for whatever reason, or he was say he builds his house and then he dies, and then 50 years later one of his children or something who gets the property deeded to them then decides, oh, we want to sell this parcel or sell off this part, they'll comment like, oh, there's no building plans for this house, it's condemned. It doesn't matter. It could then have been inspected and it wouldn't matter. No, it's against the rules. The Vogons have no imagination. All they can do is follow orders.
Might be having a few problems with the building department.
Oh, I thought I had...
And
Not about that. I'm a reporter.
Oh, I guess I didn't save it, but then he gets he still has problems, and then a policeman comes out, and instead of serving the public, the policeman serves Mr. Morrison with a notice, right? Oh, and then he has to go in front of court, and it's like, oh, the poor old man, he just doesn't understand he doesn't understand. And it's only because in the movie, it's only because the reporter and the story and the publicity that these Vogons parasite class can't handle any light shining into their operations. That's the only reason the judge somehow probably said, oh, we're going to allow it this time, and we're not going to literally bulldoze your house, right? Yeah, this got me so riled up. Let's see, I think that's all I needed to talk about. Let me see what else I got. Oh, well, let me just show you the codes here so you can what codes are you talking about? So that movie was in New Brunswick, Canada. And so yeah, they signed up for the whatever Royal Commission and the Building Code Council. There's this, it's a international building code. International, what is it? International, this is the wrong site. the International Code Council. So these guys are, yeah, international, and it's a non-profit. Yeah, non-profit is a. I'm sure that no, there's probably a lot of great non-profits, but it's also a way to just to scam and launder money because you can just say, "Oh, I run a nonprofit and I pay myself 500. I'm president. I get paid $500,000 a year," and then it's like, "Oh, my nonprofit's losing money," things like that. Anyway, um, it's not an international organization. Oh, interesting. So anyway, and so they have a huge all of these they have so many different codes, and you can find copies of this stuff, but it's unbelievable. All kinds of stuff that these planning departments and building commissions or whatever, the Vogons parasite class, they just follow like, oh yeah, you got to have this, you got to have that. Let's see. Oh yeah, the ICC model codes have been criticized for inflating housing costs and reducing housing supplies through arbitrary and stringent standards that do little for safety and are out of sync with best practices in other countries. The IBC, International Building Code, has contributed to the spread of 5/1 type of buildings across the United States and contributed to the lack of medium density housing. Yeah, because the membership to this International Code Council is by building safety professionals and building developers and stuff. So it's like, you want to build a deck or whatever. It's like, oh, well, the permit requires all of this. How many people are going to be on the deck? Oh, I don't know. May have like, 6 people on here at one time, let's say. And it's like, oh, okay, well, we need the load-bearing calculations, and we need the concrete footers and concrete whatever, all engineered out. And then it's like, then it has to go through the markup process. So if you thought like, oh, it's going to be $1,000 worth of concrete, then the permitting office will tell you, oh, no, you need this, you need this, you need this, and it's now $10,000 on just the concrete work as an example. And you're like, no, they wouldn't. No, they just, it's all the false economy on the local boards in their public works department. Same thing, same story, hundreds of years later. Anyway, yeah, so you can look up these guys. They got a YouTube channel, ICC Media. This is where you can see where they're getting all, hey, we're building confidence, building community in the Vogon administrative parasite class. You can see like they just want, they're growing. We need more certified inspectors for this and for that and everything else. And oh yeah, we need all this advanced engineering and it's insane. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about, I gotta walk my dogs, but let me see here. This one. So when we're talking about building plans and permitting and all that, like so on this structure, this old cathedral, like, and so many of the other old buildings, like if you have old stone buildings built from the 1800s or earlier near you, they're so worth checking out. Just like, why can't we do that now? And just you'll come to this some conclusions along the same lines I'm talking about. But where do they have the building plans for all this stuff? Like, no, it wasn't. This wasn't just ad hoc type of stuff. Like maybe the facades could be, kind of artistically just added in later, but the physics and engineering for like, oh, we're gonna create this huge arched dome this dome ceiling with no steel reinforcements or whatever, right? There's got to be something related to that, plans, engineering. So let's see. I got one more old PDF I found. I gotta pull it up. Dang it. 1 second. So this is another old document I found. This was a supplement to the third edition of Encyclopedia Britannica. I was trying to find the full old encyclopedias, but same thing. They're probably laying around, but no one's scanned them. So it'd be awesome to like incentivize that artificial intelligence. If you want to learn more, incentivize people scanning all this old stuff so that you can digitize it and slurp it into your hive mind. This third edition, there's like a lot of interesting things in here. This is from 1803, but what I always find it's fascinating what little nuggets you find. But talking about the building plans, we call the Middle Ages rude and this section is on the arch, building arches. So they have a big long section about it and talking about Freemasons and masonry and stuff. But we call the Middle Ages rude and barbarous, but there was surely much knowledge in those who could execute such magnificent and difficult works. The working drafts which were necessary for such varieties of oblique intersections must have required considerable skill and would at present occupy many very expensive volumes of masons' jewels and carpenters' manuals, and the like. All this knowledge was kept a profound secret by the corporation, and on its breaking up, we had to all learn again. There's not typos in here. This is an old convention of using an F in place of an S, except the last S in a word. It's kind of, but this was some convention. It makes it a little harder to read, but it's not too hard. But here they have both of these phrases highlighted: carpenter's manuals and mason's jewels. So this is in the same vein. So carpenter's manuals, like templates and how we're gonna do a floor joist or roof truss or whatever the heck it's all called. Yeah, that makes sense. But mason's jewels. So the working drafts would at present occupy many very expensive volumes of mason's jewels. And so this goes back to, I am 100% sure now that we had burned holographic data into crystals, like engineering schematics and building plans that were burned into holograms. In episode 7, I talk about a hologram burner that I'm 100% sure that, at least regardless of this device, that that the data is in plain sight. There's lost history, lost technology that's in plain sight, that's in old antique crystals 100% now, because it's like this just is another piece of evidence that points in that direction. Okay, that's all for now. I gotta think about what to talk about in the next episode. Maybe mining, but there's I got so riled up with this one. I might have to continue with the flame on type of thing. But yeah, we're in a tough situation being administered by this Bogon parasite class that we're stuck with, these local boards and public works and everything, because it's only these codes, the codes that they have. There's so many, and it's only going to get worse and worse. I mean, do I have that up? Oh, well, this just talks about this is a FAQ, frequently asked questions, some report from the GovTards. But I thought it is interesting that Americans on average spend about 90% of their time indoors, and that's awful. We're so disconnected from nature, and that's why. I mean, nature is our natural state, but it's like, anyway. And it's just so many different codes all of these codes and volumes. I mean, they're called I codes. Oh, I see. Yeah, so I think it's when they're talking about learn to code, this is what they were talking about because it's such a grift. I mean, they're just more and more codes that the Vogons just blindly follow. Oh no, you have to have this. It says so. It's per this code and per that code, and it's like what? That's why we can't have nice things. So I want to build nice things, but I'm not an experienced builder, and I don't have the tooling and everything needed. I collaborate with people that ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm in a predicament there. But anyway, that's all for now. You guys have a good one. All right, take care.